Welcome to our second Q&A video for the month of November. We had to do two because we had so many questions. And today we're going to be focusing mainly on finances.
What's the scoop on our pantry challenge? Because we haven't been posting much about it.
We used up so much stuff that we don't have much left. So it kind of ended with a whimper and sorry it wasn't exciting.
I think you guys saw the last video that I did. I had like 5 items left in the pantry basket. 2 of them are being used on Thanksgiving Day. That doesn't leave much. So we've been talking about what we're going to do and how are we going to handle, because we still have 9-10 days left. And what's our idea?
Well, I was thinking about throwing a few other things in there at night when Janelle doesn't know about it. Just toss them in, see what happens, see if she notices.
I would notice.
And what are our Thanksgiving plans this year?
Thanksgiving in my mind is this big, huge, loud, noisy family get-together, and the house is bursting at the seams with people, just falling out windows and doors because the house is so full. So this year we invited several families, and we have a total of 21 people that will be at our Thanksgiving dinner. Now, of course, 8 of them are us. I'm cooking 2 turkeys because of the amount of people, and everybody else is bringing dishes to pass, so there's really not a whole lot of cooking that I need to do other than, the turkey.
The kids and I have been working very hard on getting our house in order, so it's pretty good. It actually looks a lot better.
We're doing that deep cleaning that we've been saying we keep wanting to do. Now we're going to jump into the finance questions that you guys all ask us. And what's the first one?
First one is, how do you guys make it financially with such a large family?
It really isn't that hard. And I think it's just, if you can get rid of that mentality of having to have the newest and the best, or what everybody else has, if you can get rid of that mentality, it's not hard having 6 kids or more than 6 kids, because it really doesn't cost that much. Our biggest expense is food. Clothing you pick up at thrift shops and garage sales. And
it also helps because we do not have a mortgage on our house. We have bought a few houses over the years, and then we kind of fixed them up, sold them, made a little money at it, and then we just bought another house.
All right, you're being really modest here. Art's mom was a realtor, and so when he was a young person, she was able to find really great deals on houses, and Art was able to buy them and then to either fix them up or make minor repairs and then resell them for a profit. So when Art moved here before we were married, he was able to buy the house with cash, and he did not have a mortgage, and so I married into a home with no mortgage. It was a huge blessing, particularly with Art just starting up the shop. And for any of you who started up a business and you know how hard it can be with finances, that was a huge blessing, not having that monthly mortgage.
Are you frugal by choice or by necessity?
Both.
The answer is yes, both. We're frugal by choice. I don't work a lot of hours because I don't need to. If I needed to work a lot of hours, I could. But I just like being with my family, so I try not to work too many hours. And because of that, I don't make a lot of money, but we don't need to make a lot of money. Were you both raised in frugal families?
Yes.
I was too.
My parents were very good about teaching my brother and me the value of $1, and and so were my grandparents, and my parents always called me a squirrel. I think Art would even agree with that. How
yes.
I don't like to spend money. I mean, I will, but I like to squirrel it away, and I love to see my savings account grow, and it just makes me feel like a squirrel with a bunch of nuts making its pile bigger and bigger.
Janelle's family was, I would say, conventionally frugal. My family was kind of weirdly frugal. I could tell you a lot of good stories. I probably won't right now.
It might scare you away.
It might. What are your Christmas and birthday budgets?
Well, if you've watched our videos, you know that Art has his daddy-style gifts, and then there's mommy-style gifts. And they're not really necessarily a big cost presents. I will tell you, I usually keep it around $25 to $50 per child. But it's not a hard and fast rule. It just really depends on what we're getting them. I am we try to get gifts that mean something. And daddy style gifts tend to be quality time, and my gifts tend to be more out of necessity. So mommy's more known for the clothes, the underwear, and things like that. And daddy...
Last year she made mittens for the kids.
Right. The year before that, everybody needed pajamas, so we did fleece pajamas across the board. Last year, Art did, one of the things he did with one of the kids was taking the individual child to the library to pick out books, and then Daddy would go through and read those books to that child alone.
Mm-hmm. And Lydia even wanted me to wrap them up. So I went to the library, wrapped up the books, and then she got to open them. And that was a free gift, but it was very enjoyable. She loved it.
Quality time. So to say we have a budget, we really don't. I do not spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on my kids, but we just try to keep that in perspective that Christmas isn't really time of materialism for us. We try to focus on the meaning of Christmas and quality family time.
Here's a similar question. Do you have any tips for keeping Christ in Christmas and any traditions that are not Santa-based or consumeristic? Well, we don't teach our children about Santa. I mean, they know that he's out there and all that stuff, but they don't believe in Santa. And as far as keeping Christ in Christmas, we usually try to do Christmas caroling. We try to read the Christmas story every year and visit people at the nursing home, things like that. The next question, will you do more grocery fasts?
Yes and no. I was recounting to Art yesterday how after doing our October grocery fast, I felt like I no longer had this need to go to the grocery store once a week. It was more every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. I don't know if I would do a whole month, but by doing that grocery fast in October, I feel like I've somewhat removed myself and become more capable of using what I have on hand. The next question is, what do you do for a living?
I repair brass and woodwind instruments.
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
Yes. Well, to some people it's exciting. A lot of people glamorize the job and think it's a really, really good job. Other people would absolutely not want to do that. So I guess after doing it for 20-something years, I'm kind of in between. I really enjoy it, but I don't glamorize it. And
I think one of the best things about it is, for the most part, the job requires Art to be sitting down at a workbench the entire day. Which means, with Art's personality, he has a lot of pent-up energy by the time he gets home in the afternoon, which means I've used up all my energy all day with the kids, and by the time he comes home, I'm usually like this, and he's come home, and he's rip-roaring ready to go. He's got all this energy.
Do your kids have daily chores?
Nothing that we have written down, but we do kind of expect them to become helpful members of our household. And one way they are extremely helpful is with washing dishes. They help with laundry, and we do expect them to, every morning, to make their bed, to get dressed, and keep their rooms picked up. Those are their set chores. They don't get an allowance for it.
And often I have them help me when I work. And I'm working all the time, so I can always have a kid or two with me working. Does Charity have any idea about what career path she might be interested in?
The other day she was writing to her friend, right? And she put on there that she would like to be a wife and a mother or an activities director at a assisted living home. She really enjoys working with the older people. She reminds me a lot of myself when I was her age. I really enjoyed being with older people, and she seems to be following that same direction, at least right now. I mean, she's not even 13 yet, so it's still early for her to really decide what she wants to do, but right now that's what she's leaning towards. Somebody asks us, does selling stuff on eBay get you good money, or is it not really worth it?
Well, yes, both. It can get you good money, but the amount that we've been getting lately has gone way down. eBay is getting a little harder to do, and we have been so sick of all the junk that comes into our house from doing eBay that we've backed off a lot. And it's my goal to fire eBay in probably about 5 months or so. I'm hoping to have all our stuff listed. Not to say we won't ever do it, but it better be something really good for us to do it.
I think a lot of it just depends on what you're selling and what your niche is. Because ours is more the, I don't want to say the junk business, but a lot of different parts and pieces and vintage items. And that market has really tanked, at least on eBay. And with the fees on eBay and the fact that we are so busy just trying to deal with that all, it hasn't really been all that beneficial.
The last year or two.
Right.
Before it was good.
I mean, that was the majority of our income was eBay, and I don't know what we would have done without eBay. But we made a conscious decision 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago in the spring that I wanted to focus more on taking care of the kids, doing homemaking stuff, and let Art do the eBay or let the eBay slowly run out of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much what has happened. We still have that pile of stuff on our third floor that we really need to deal with and just do one final push and get eBay done and finish that up, that part of our lives, and be done with it, just because we are so much happier talking to you guys at night, filming for you guys, and that is something that we can include the kids on, that we're happy to fire eBay and do this for you guys.
Yeah, the vlog that we're doing is kind of taking the place of eBay, and as of right now, the vlog is a lot more fun than the drudgery of listing more junk. So
I'm sure you guys know that you do make money, or we do make money from advertising and doing the vlog, and also from my blog. I do make some money. It's not a lot right now. You know, I would like this to increase and help with our finances so Art can continue to stay home.
we do feel bad about the making you guys watch advertisements, but, well, we kind of need to. Maybe someday we'll get to the point where we don't need to do that anymore, but as of right now, you know.
So on that note, spread the word, like our channel, comment, share our channel with people so we can grow our numbers and maybe ditch those ads once and for all.
How did we come up with the name Parsnips and Parsimony?
Before I answer this, I'm going to say, if you've made it this far in this video, you're amazing for putting up with Art and I blabbering so much. So the last question, how did we come up with this name?
Well, our neighbor came up with it for us. Well, parsnips are kind of a modest crop, and we do a lot of gardening. And the word parsimony means frugality. So, and it just kind of rolls off your tongue. Sounds good. The only problem with it is most people don't know what the word parsimony means. So we've thought about changing our name. My sister came up with a really good name that she thought we should change it to. Right family, wrong century.
What do you guys think of that? Should we do that? In 2008, I started my first blog. Do you remember the name of that?
Financially free for number 4 ever.
And it was, I never knew what the blog was going to turn into. And I go back and read some of my posts from back then, and I'm going,
It was pretty bad.
what was I thinking? But you know, everybody has to start somewhere. And then, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, I really wanted to make that next step into trying to make something of this. And that's when my neighbor helped me come up with the name Parsnips and Parsimony. And I will say it is a very unique name, and it's worked well. You know, maybe we'll end up changing it wrong family or right family, wrong century.
Wrong family.
There's a lot of things that go into changing names, so I'm not sure that I'm into that hassle. But that's how we came up with Parsnips and Parsimony. Kind of a creative, interesting name, all wrapped up in one. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our second Q&A video. We'll see you next time. Good night.